That was the major reason of the defeat. I hope you got it. Okay? So Sirajuddaulah was captured, and then he was killed by the son of the Mir Zafar, whose name was Mira. After this battle has happened, that Mir Zafar was appointed as the next Nawab of the Bengal. But then obviously he will have to give something to the British. ऐसा तो है नहीं कि British are sant, they will not take anything. They are just there to help Mir Zafar. They have their own cause. So they got huge amount of money. I'm telling you what is there's all money. So immediately Mir Zafar, as the Nawab of the Bengal, from the treasury of the Bengal, he gave them 2,75,000 pound. Okay? And what is this money? This money British demanded as a war damage prize. हिंदी में क्या बोलते हो? युद्ध का हर्जाना. ठीक है? War damage prize. Then, so this is what they demanded. They also got zamindari of one of the district of the Bengal, and the name of the district was Chaubis Pargana. Then, so this particular district was given to the British for the zamindari. Apart from it, in between 1757 to 1760, Mir Zafar also gave them 22.5 million rupees, which means 2.25 crore rupees. Then, and the 2.25 crore rupees, you just multiply it with the 680. That is the today's amount. तो तुमको पता चल जाएगा कि कितना. So 680 into 225, near about 1500 crore rupees were given to the, आज के पैसे के हिसाब से, were given to the British. It is a loot. It is a plunder by the British, and this is what is called as the Plassey plunder. Now you get it. यही पैसा है. This is the money with which they are going to fight all their campaigns in India, and that's why they were going to become victorious. Then, so now, अब मीर जफर के बाद you asked a question that who was Mir Qasim. मेरे को complete करने दो story, ठीक है? So Mir Qasim. So what happened? That Mir Zafar realized very soon that he cannot fulfill the greed of the British. Then, so he cannot fulfill the greed of the British because day by day are demanding anything. Then he started exploring other option of the military support with the Dutch. And this is the time when British removed him from the power and appointed Mir Qasim as the next Nawab. Then, so Mir Qasim is coming to power. Now, he's also a sponsored Nawab. By appoint to British ne kiya. So he will also have to fulfill some of their demands. So what demand he fulfilled? He also gave zamindari right of 3 areas. And these 3 areas are Bardhaman, Midnapur and Chittagaon. So Chittagaon is in today's Bangladesh, and Bardhaman you all know, and Midnapur is also in this Bengal area. So he gave the zamindari of these 3 areas, and he also gave them 29 lakh rupees bribe. But then soon Mir Qasim also realized that this way they will actually exhaust the Bengal treasury. And he started to oppose British from 1763, which led to the 3 fights between them. And in one of the fight he was defeated. So that's how he fled to the Awadh, where he forged the alliance with the Sujauddaulah of Awadh and Shah Alam II of Delhi. And then the battle of Buxar happened. But then it happened for the bad of these 3 powers because they were thoroughly defeated. ठीक है? कुछ पूछ रहे थे, पूछो. हाँ हाँ फिर से पूछो. आज ही नहीं, आवाज ही नहीं आ रही है. हाँ, किसके पास? मीर जफर के पास. ही वॉज नवाब ऑफ बंगाल. बंगाल के ट्रेजरी में होगा. अब जैसे मान लो सिंपल सी बात बोले कि अभी, नहीं मेरी बात सुनो, ठीक है? अब हम जैसे प्रधानमंत्री चेंज हो जाते हैं, किसी भी देश का देखो, हम पाकिस्तान का देखते हैं, क्यों इंडिया का देखेंगे? ठीक है? तो इमरान खान से शरीफ साहब आ गए, ठीक है? तो शरीफ साहब is saying that he is going to initiate a 1800 crore rupee Belt and Road Initiative. तो पैसा कहाँ से आया? There is a fund of that particular that country. In our country's case, we call this fund as a Consolidated Fund of India. Polity में पढ़ोगे, ठीक है? In economy also you'll read. So there are 3 funds of the government of India: Consolidated Fund of India, Public Accounts, ठीक है? And then कंटिजेंसी फंड ऑफ इंडिया. तो ऐसे ही हर एक किंगडम में उनका अपना रॉयल ट्रेजरी होता है, वो पैसा ऑलरेडी वहां है, ठीक है? एंड दैट इज इनकम फ्रॉम द लैंड टैक्सेस विच द गवर्नर और विच द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर एरिया इज गेटिंग. तो पैसा तो है ना. एंड मोर ओवर देखो एक और, आई गॉट टू नो that what you're asking, basically there is a one part that will be elaborating in the foundation course, ठीक है? So obviously that, see, तुमने ये चूज किया है प्रोग्राम, तो इसमें इस प्रोग्राम में थोड़ा सा हिस्ट्री को हम मॉडर्न को कॉन्स्ट्रिक्ट करके बता रहे हैं, ठीक है। इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट्स, बट ये 7-8 क्लासेस में। जाहिर सी बात है कि 7-8 क्लासेस में पूरी हिस्ट्री सब कुछ नहीं पढ़ सकते हो, ठीक है। सो दैट्स व्हाई दिस प्रोग्राम इज डिजाइंड इन अ वे दैट इन 7-8 क्लासेस, ठीक है, यू गेट द ग्लिम्स एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट, एंड देन आफ्टर द 25 क्लासेस विच विल फॉलो, द डीपर एनालिसिस वुड बी देयर। बट अब तुमने पूछा है तो मैं बताऊंगा, ठीक है। सो वी सेड बंगाल वॉज द रिचेस्ट स्टेट ऑफ द मुगल इंडिया। देयर वर मेनी रीजंस। बंगाल वॉज रिगार्डेड एज द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब ऑफ द वर्ल्ड। देन एक उसकी वजह है कि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, बेसिकली कॉटन कल्टीवेशन वाज हैपनिंग इन अ वेरी गुड वे इन द बंगाल। तो एक बहुत जैसे कॉन्टेम्पररी एग्जांपल अगर जो हम ब्रिंग करते हैं, तो कोविड हैपेंड, ठीक है। इन कोविड देयर वाज ऑल ओवर इंडिया एंड ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड आल्सो दैट पीपल स्टार्टेड बायकॉटिंग द चाइनीज गुड, ठीक है। कि obviously that 70% of the stuff that we use in our life is made in China. There is no denial in it. Then, so जहां भी हमें मौका मिला, wherever we got the opportunity that there is a replacement of the Chinese good, so we started buying the other than Chinese good. Then one of the good is the textile itself. And textile में इस क्लास में जितने लोग आगे बैठे हो, 60% लोग जीन्स पहन के बैठे हो, ठीक है। So I'm just pointing one such thing over here. When you look at the alternative production center of the jeans, so you know where it is? Dhaka. ठीक है, Dhaka. And Dhaka was the part of the Bengal. So actually Dhaka was one of the biggest manufacturing city in the world at that point of time. And so is the Calcutta. Combining Dhaka and Calcutta, the textile production was majorly happening in Bengal. Now, so can you say that textile production is happening, or textile can normally happen in the Europe? See, Europe में textile production के लिए first they will have to buy cotton from India, Egypt, ठीक है, the tropical countries, and then they can do the production over there. So basically those were the time when in Britain, in the Europe, everybody was running for the manufactured goods from the Bengal. Then so they were buying the textile from the Bengal. In fact, आज के date में भी the fine muslin cloth of the Dhaka is considered as the finest cotton, one of the finest cotton. So they were running for the goods from the Bengal, and that's how. So when they are coming to Bengal, so if you are purchasing something from the Bengal, तो कुछ तो दे के जाओगे. What was the thing that they were using for purchasing the Bengali good? Is it some money or gold? Gold. ठीक है? So understand. These Europeans, they were bringing huge amount of gold to purchase the Bengali goods. So to the Bengali manufacturers, they were giving the gold then, and they are purchasing the Bengali manufactured good, taking into the European market and selling on a greater gold. Then, so this is what led to the accumulation of huge amount of gold in Bengal. And actually it is just because of the Bengal, there is one acronym which is given to India, that is सोने की चिड़िया. ठीक है, सो सबको पता है कि इंडिया में सोने की खान नहीं है. कोलार गोल्ड माइंस, ठीक है, केजीएफ इज ओनली इन द मूवी. यस, इन रियलिटी कोलार में कोई गोल्ड नहीं है. अगर जो है भी तो इट इज सो डीप दैट इफ यू गो टू एक्सट्रैक्ट द गोल्ड फ्रॉम द कोलार गोल्ड माइंस, कोलार गोल्ड माइन विल एक्सट्रैक्ट यू. ठीक है, इट इज द डीपेस्ट गोल्ड माइन इन द वर्ल्ड. गोल्ड इज देयर बट इट कैन नॉट बी एक्सट्रैक्टेड. व्हाई सो? इट इज डीप. You go deep, you know, you must have studied in the geography, temperature is very high. Nothing will be left in your body. ठीक है? So that's why. So India was सोने की चिड़िया just because of this trade only. ठीक है? अब ज्यादा पूछोगे तो देखो ये पीएफसी फाउंडेशन में टर्न हो जाएगा, तो वेट करो फाउंडेशन का. ठीक है? तो मैं भी मतलब आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग दैट द एंटायर ग्लिम्स यू गेट इन वन गो. अच्छा, इसका एक फायदा बता रहा हूं तुमको. You know, just before the exam, that when we suppose prelims exam, when is this year prelims exam? 26th or 27th of May. So generally that just closer to 1 week, we need lesser content to revise. अगर जो exam के 1 महीना पहले है, तो you can revise the entire foundation course, what you have written. But can you revise the entire content of the modern in 2 days? No. So for that, this what you are writing now, that will be a better thing to revise. So जब 15 दिन पहले है, you revise the entire course, but last week revision you must depend on what you are writing right now. So it helps you in very quick revision. In fact, many a times people do follow their own different strategies to create short notes. Then so this is the one which will be giving you the idea how to create the short notes. Then, so let the foundation course get completed. You will get a fair idea between the two courses, and then you yourself will be very much able to create the short notes for your quick revision. And believe me, लोग कहते हैं ना कि last week revision is not very important. I believe I have seen, I'm coaching the students from last 13 years. And in fact, I don't know that you know about it or not. I have almost taught in majority of the institutes in the southern India. I have taught in Bangalore, Trivandrum, Cochin, Chennai, Pune, Hyderabad. So these all centers, except some centers in the northern India I haven't been to. I haven't been to Patna. I haven't been to Chandigarh. But then Jaipur, then Lucknow, Allahabad, all these centers. So my experience and my interaction with the student is like that last week revision is the most important. Then, and many a times I have seen n number of the people, because they were too good in the last week revision, their prelims exam was very comfortable. Okay? So never ever compromise on the last week profile of your study. Okay? Chalo, so let's move to the part that we were writing. Tell me, what was the last thing? So Battle of Palasi mein likho. So mention that Bengal Commander-in-Chief of the Bengal Commander-in-Chief of Forces or Military, Bengal Commander-in-Chief of Military, Mir Zafar, affected a coup, which led to defeat and killing of Sirajud-Dowlah. Defeat and killing of Sirajud-Dowlah. Full stop. And it was an unfortunate episode in the Indian history. It is considered that death of the Sirajud-Dowlah was the most sad thing, gloomy thing for the Indian history. Because if it would not have happened, and if our own people would not have done the treachery with the Sirajud-Dowlah, so then British would not have got the roots to further grow in India. So mention, you write. Paragraph change karo. After the battle, Mir Zafar was appointed. After the battle, Mir Zafar was appointed next Nawab. Timeline bhi likh lo, 1757 to 60. Next Nawab. Full stop. He paid British 2,75,000 pound. He paid British 2,75,000 pound as war damage price. Moreover, he also gave zamindari of 24 Pargana. But in Bengal, they don't call it 24, they call it 24 Pargana. It is name of the district. But as a Pargana naam agar jo dekhoge na, to Pargana is also, in general terms, it is district. Okay? But this is name of one district, 24 Pargana. So he also gave zamindari right of 24 Pargana to company. Full stop. Then mention to company. After it, in between 1757 to 60, he further gave 2.25 crore rupees. 2.25 crore rupees to British in return of military support. In return of military support. अब एक बार फिर वापस से let's connect one part of the story. You remember in the previous class when we were mentioning about the Dutch East India Company, ठीक है? We mentioned कि 1759 Dutch East India Company were defeated by the British in Battle of Bedara. Bedara is also called as Hooghly and it is also called as Chinsura. So तीन नाम majorly it is mentioned in the history books. Then, so why they defeated Dutch? The reason was Mir Zafar only. ठीक है? Understand? Mir Zafar, so he was paying to the British for the military support. Now he started seeking alternative option. So alternative option was the Dutch East India Company, which was based in Hooghly. Then, so when he started negotiation with the Dutch East India Company, British learned it. They fought with the Dutch, defeated them, and then they removed Mir Zafar from the power and appointed his son-in-law Mir Qasim to the power. So mention, you right? When Mir Zafar started negotiating, when Mir Zafar started negotiating with Dutch for military support, he was removed from power. He was removed from power. Full stop. It led to appointment of Mir Qasim. It led to appointment of Mir Qasim, and timeline 1760 to 63 as the next Nawab. Full stop. Initially, he also gave zamindari right of 3 districts. He also gave zamindari right of 3 districts, that is Bardhaman, Midnapur and Chittagong to British. Bardhaman, Midnapur and Chittagong to British. Full stop. He also paid 29 lakh rupee. 29 lakh rupee to company as a bribe. Full stop. Later he realized that it is impossible to satisfy the British greed. It is impossible to satisfy the British greed. And he started to oppose them. Full stop. It led to 3 consecutive fight. In which Mir Qasim was defeated. Full stop. He fled to Awadh. where he formed alliance with Awadh ruler and Mughal emperor. Full stop. In Battle of Buxar, the Alliance Army, Battle of Buxar 1764, write the date also. Battle of Buxar, Buxor, Battle of Buxar 1764, Alliance Army was thoroughly defeated by company. It ended with Treaty of Allahabad. It ended with Treaty of Allahabad 1765. So now just once again you listen. पहले हम लिख चुके हैं इसके बारे में, but then one more thing I just want to add at this point of time. Understand? What was this? That British did not tinkered with the position of the Mughal emperor. ठीक है? They respected him. Even after defeating him, they respected him. ठीक है? It was a ploy. Why ploy? Because they wanted to send a message in the Indian society that though they have defeated the Mughal emperor, but they are not disrespecting him. ठीक है? So they just wanted to build a trust in the Indian society that we are not bad people. कि in any war में हार जीत तो होती है, but then we are respectful, so that Indian people will develop a positive view about them, and particularly people in Bengal will develop a positive view about them. So that's how they did not disturb the position of the Shah Alam. In fact, they said to him that every year they will be paying him 26 lakh rupees. ठीक है? But from what? From the collection of the revenue which he has given to them. And what is that? Revenue collection right of Bihar, Bengal and Odisha. So it means that suppose they are collecting 2 crore rupees from the Bihar, Bengal and Odisha. So 26 lakh they will be giving to the Mughal emperor. Then, so mention, you write that what is you have written, ended with the Treaty of Allahabad 1765. This treaty respected the position of Mughal emperor. This treaty respected the position of Mughal emperor Shah Alam II. Mughal emperor Shah Alam II, and he was assured he was assured 26 lakh rupees annual payment, 26 lakh rupees annual payment from the revenue of Bihar, Bengal, Odisha. Then mention further. In return, British got revenue collection right of Bihar, Bengal, Odisha. Revenue collection right of Bihar, Bengal, Odisha. ठीक है? So now listen, a little bit, just a little bit. So what happened? 1765. So once again, अब कहानी में मोड़ ये है कि once again Mir Zafar was appointed as the next Nawab. They have not completely removed. ठीक है? He was appointed as the next Nawab, but then from 1770, what they did? They completely removed the Nawab, and the British administration completely started in the Bengal from this particular year. ठीक है? So you write, for a shorter point of time, Mir Zafar was reappointed. As Bengal Nawab. but later, after 1770, 1770, but later, after 1770, the formal beginning of British rule started in Bengal. The formal beginning of British rule started in Bengal. Done? Formal beginning of British rule started in Bengal. So now let's sum up that what we have seen till now. Okay? So what we discussed last day, that's not the thing. So from where we started, that by 1857 we have seen the story of the later Mughal emperors, that how their fall has happened. Then their policies were responsible for their fall, and so as then their character was also responsible. In fact, it does not mean that there were not good people in the later Mughals, but their problem was that nothing was left in their hand to revive the Mughal glory, and as such, that even the last Mughal emperor who was ready to sacrifice his life, then who gave the leadership of the 1857 revolt, he could not achieve anything because the British have become too powerful to be defeated. So Mughal rule ended on the 1st of November 1858. But in this story, there are many stories of the regional powers. So we talked about that how British have risen in power when it comes to the Europeans. Then, so though the other European powers, Dutch didn't had much interest. Okay? After 1759, they thought that it's better to concentrate the energy in Indonesia, which was a wise decision on their part. And in fact, they controlled Indonesia in much better way, and they looted Indonesia in a much organized manner. Then, so they have left India. What about the Danish? They were never in India for expansion. Okay? They were only for the Christianity, and even British were also doing the things. So they sold all their properties to British. They are gone. So those who were there to rule in India were the French and British. Now, so they are big powers in the world, but then their tussle in India is also starting from the Carnatic. And in this, British proved their mettle. Then, so they proved their mettle, and with their intelligent strategy. And who is responsible for it? Actually, Robert Clive. So Robert Clive is considered as the father of the British Foundation in India. He is the one who established the British cradle in India, and which later on was built by many other people. So his strategies worked perfectly for the company, and they completely defeated French. Then, so French influence in India declined from 1763, though they are present in India, but उस तरह से नहीं जैसे पहले थे. So they are not like the way they were there in the earlier times. Then, so they cannot take decision at their own all the time. They will have to take the permission of the British authority. So this is one part. Then we are looking at the regional powers. So the regional power that we have discussed right now is the Bengal, which was the richest province of India. And your question, we contributed that why it was the richest province of India. So not only the able rulers were there, but the Bengal geography itself helped in the richness. Then, so everybody, all the Europeans, they are running to the Bengal to buy the Bengali manufactured goods, and that has led to the accumulation of the gold in the Bengal. And that's why British are keeping a very close eye on the Bengal, that if we get the Bengal, so automatically our resources will increase. And then, so they got the opportunity in 1756 during the war of succession between Ghasiti Begum and Sirajud-Dowla. And though Sirajud-Dowla came to power, but then with their conspiracy and the designs, they were able to defeat Sirajud-Dowla in 1757. And it all happened because of the treachery of the Indians only. Okay? So we ourselves were responsible for our slavery. Okay? We served our freedom to the British in their hand, and they made us their slaves. So Mir Zafar is considered as in Indian history as the traitor number 1. Traitor number 2 we will discuss in the Mysore episode. Okay? There is one more. Then, so there is one more. Traitor number 2 in Mysore. But then, now understand. So Mir Zafar effected a coup. Sirajud-Dowla defeated. He thought that he will be ruling Bengal, but he did not knew that actually he is controlled by the British. So basically he is sponsored and he is a puppet of the British authority. Puppet, you understand? Katputli. Ki all the things he will have to do on the instruction of the British. By the time he realized it was late, he himself was removed from the power. And then his son-in-law, Mir Qasim, was appointed next Nawab. He also felt the same thing, that British are here for all the loot, though he tried to defeat them. But then he was not able to do so because British have become too powerful to be defeated. One of the reason of the British victory, which we'll discuss later on also, is their weapons. They had the sophisticated weapons. On the other hand, in India, the rulers, they wanted to fight with the British, but weapons nahi the. Achhe weapons nahi the. Good quality, superior quality weapons were not there. And actually, in the Battle of Buxar, I'll tell you, the British army was just 7,500. Then, and on the other hand, 57,000 people were there in the combined army, the grand army of the three people. But still, British were able to defeat the 57,000. It's only because of their weapon and their organization, their leadership. So now, British have defeated them, and then it led to the new destiny of the Bengal, and the Bengal is coming under the rule of the British from 1770 onwards. So we'll see Mysore episode. Break ले लो, break के बाद start करते हैं, ठीक है? So where you have written 1860, 1760 कर लो ना, कहीं पे लिखा है क्या? ठीक है, नहीं, he was saying कहाँ पे लिखा है? बहादुर शाह, करेक्ट कर लो उसको, कोई बात नहीं. अच्छा, आई हैव ऑलरेडी गिवन द लिस्ट ऑफ द बुक्स फॉर द ऑप्शनल टू रवि, सो यू कैन गेट इट फ्रॉम द रवि, ठीक है, जिसको भी चाहिए. सो नाउ लेट्स गो इनटू द मैसूर एपिसोड. देन अंडरस्टैंड. सो the regional power of the Mysore, you can write it as a title, regional power of Mysore. So now understand that originally, when it comes to the beginning, or that the kingdom of the Mysore, it has its origin associated with the Vijayanagar kingdom. You remember in the chronology part, we discussed Muhammad bin Tughlaq, 1324 to 1351. And as we shared the story that during his regime only, two big kingdoms were established in South India. One was the Vijayanagar in 1336 by two brothers, Harihar and Bukka Raya. And another was the Bahmani kingdom by Alauddin Shah Bahman. Then, so Vijayanagar kingdom flourished till 1640. And its most important ruler was Krishnadev Raya. So, but then there was one fight between Bahmani and Vijayanagar in 1565, and that was known as Battle of Talikota. After that fight, decline started, okay? And decline became final in 1640, okay? So 1640, Vijayanagar kingdom completely declined. Those who were the important officers in the Vijayanagar kingdom, they created small kingdoms for themselves, okay? Vijayanagar बहुत बड़ा था. So if you look at the expanse of the Vijayanagar kingdom, so basically, if you go by this map, so this entire area was the Vijayanagar kingdom. Then, so a little bit of part is basically, Bahmani was a small part of it. So now, the small kingdom, many small kingdoms were getting created over here. Mysore was one of it. And one of the officers of the Vijayanagar kingdom who were creating the Mysore, they were known as Wadeyar. So, Wadeyar dynasty. So Wadeyar dynasty established the Mysore Empire. Now, 1707, okay, that 1707, Aurangzeb's death has happened. Wadeyar are the rulers of the Mysore. So their rule continued till 1761. Now, in the Mysore's army, there was one person, his name was Hyder Ali. He was a petty soldier. He was uneducated. So actually, if you look at the history, some of the very effective rulers of the Indian history were illiterate, which includes the name of the Akbar, but also Alauddin Khilji. Okay? So Alauddin Khilji was also illiterate, so as Akbar, and so as the Hyder Ali. But Hyder Ali, though he started his career in the Mysore army as a soldier, but he was a man of fortunes. And then he was man of capability and the capacity. So due to his skills, due to his intelligence, he rose to the position of the commander-in-chief of the Mysore. And in 1861, he removed two rulers, two people who were ruling Mysore, Nanjaraj and Devaraj. And then he founded the Mysore, that his own rule in the Mysore 1861 onwards. So, though Hyder Ali, ध्यान से समझना, that he was illiterate, but that does not mean that he was not having the vision. So he knew at that point of time that if one has to create a strong kingdom and survive, So then one has to look at the strength of the British, that they are the biggest enemies at this point of time and very strong people because of their sophisticated or very advanced weapon technology. So he sought the help of the French in developing a very strong army. Then, and as such, he went on to create a very modern army with the help of the French. In fact, he also created a modern arsenal at Dindigul. So arsenal, you understand? The place where weapons are manufactured. So now he has established. But then from 1767 onwards, so date bhi dekho, 1765 Bengal episode has ended. Bengal has come under complete influence of the British. Then, so now they are, after that they will be focusing on the Mysore. So from 1767, the fight with the Mysore started. इसका रीजन क्या था? That there were total 4 fights between Mysore and British, and reasons were many. So I'm just that at one place itself I'm just counting those reasons. ध्यान से समझना that if we look at the map, so if we consider the territory of the Mysore over here, then and Mysore के ऊपर this is Maratha area, this area would be Nizam of Hyderabad, then and यहाँ पे भी in Kerala also there was a strong kingdom Travancore. Then so there was one kingdom Travancore. So basically Mysore is sharing, and what about the Carnatic? Is influence under the influence of the British. So here we can write English. Okay. So now Mysore neighbors Maratha, Hyderabad, British, and then Travancore. So from all the side there are these many people, and moreover with all the partners, all the neighbors, Mysore had a boundary issue. So Mysore had a boundary issue with the Maratha. They had a boundary issue with the Hyderabad. British के साथ तो है ही, and so as with the Travancore. It was one of the most important reason of the fight between Mysore and the British. So पहला fight कैसे start हुआ? I'll tell you exactly. So the very first fight was actually not the British and Mysore fight. It was actually Mysore was fighting with the Maratha to settle the dispute on the border. Then and Marathas have attacked on the Mysore. But actually what happened when the fight between them happened? Nizam of Hyderabad and British also jumped into the first war. Okay? From the side of Maratha. So they are jumping into the war from the side of the Maratha. वो होता है ना कि किसी और की लड़ाई में अपनी रोटी सेक लो. This is a मतलब normal word that we use, phrase we use in normal times. So they jumped into the war. Now what happened? Hyder Ali realized in the very first war कि एक साथ में 3 लोगों से फाइट करना पॉसिबल नहीं है. इट इज नॉट वेरी वाइज डिसीजन टू फाइट विद 3 वेरी पावरफुल पीपल एट द वन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, एंड ही इज नॉट अ गॉड. देन he offered peace to Maratha and Nizam. Then they accepted it. And what was peace? That he offered them that let's settle the border dispute with discussion. Why to waste the money and the resources? Then so they agreed for some time. They suspended the war for some time, and that's when Hyder Ali defeated British. He captured Madras. Then so now British at this point of time, when the Madras was captured, so they said to Hyder Ali that let's establish status quo, and in future war, if you are attacked by any of these partners, so we will come to your rescue. But actually it was a false promise which was given by British, and Hyder Ali was not able to realize that this is a pseudo promise which has been given by the British. So he will realize it in the second war. Mention, you right? Mysore originally was the part of Vijayanagar kingdom. Mysore originally was the part of Vijayanagar kingdom. After the decline of Vijayanagar, it emerged as a new kingdom under Wadiyar dynasty. Wadiyar I have written over here. So Wadiyar dynasty. Then change paragraph. Then you mention टाइम पीरियड इसमें वोडेयर डायनेस्टी इट इज आफ्टर 1707 वी आर मेंशनिंग 16, अगर जो ऐसे लिखना चाहते हो तो फ्रॉम 1640 के बाद से the complete decline of the Vijayanagar happened in the 1640 and then Wadeyars as just minister, but by 1700 they became full-fledged ruler. तो अभी टाइमलाइन पूरा सबका मत लिखो, जो इंपॉर्टेंट है मैं लिखवा रहा हूं. So आगे लिखो, further you write, change paragraph and then you mention that Hyder Ali was a petty soldier, Petty, मीनिंग वेरी स्मॉल लेवल. हिंदी में पेटी को बोलते हैं अदना, ठीक है. सो वॉज अ पेटी सोल्जर इन द मैसूर्स आर्मी. हैदरली वॉज अ पेटी सोल्जर इन द मैसूर्स आर्मी. दो ही वॉज अनएजुकेटेड, but highly intelligent and very capable. Highly intelligent and very capable. Full stop. Due to his capability, he rose to the position. Due to his capability, he rose to the position of commander. He rose to the position of commander-in-chief of Mysore forces. Commander-in-chief of Mysore forces. Full stop. In 1761, he removed the Mysore rulers, Nanjaraj and Devaraj. I'm writing, you can mention. So removed Mysore ruler Nanjaraj and Devaraj. Nanjaraj and Devaraj, and he himself became the ruler of Mysore. He himself became the ruler of Mysore. Change paragraph. Mention. He was an intelligent ruler. Paragraph change करके लिखना, ठीक है. He was an intelligent ruler who went on to create a very modern army. He went on to create a very modern army with the support of French. Then mention. With the help of French, he further created a modern arsenal at Dindigul. Modern arsenal at Dindigul. So weapon making factory is called as arsenal, ठीक है, at Dindigul. Then, so listen first. So what we discussed about the first war, क्यों start हुआ? Because it was a fight between Maratha and Mysore, territorial dispute, ठीक है? Boundary dispute was there between the two. But then British and Nizam of Hyderabad also entered into the war. But he realized it is not easy to fight with the three people. So he offered peace to Nizam and Maratha. But he continued his fight with the British and captured Madras. But then, after the defeat, the treaty was signed between the two parties, and British promised to Hyder Ali that in future, if he is attacked by any other power, so they will come to his support. Hyder Ali believed the words of the British. Now, it was time to test the promise which has been given by the British. So एक बार क्या हुआ that 1767 it all started and 1769 this war has ended. Once again in 1771, Marathas attacked Mysore. Why so? Dispute was not solved with the discussion. It is just like that अब इंडिया चाइना में तो ऐसा हो नहीं रहा है, but you see the India China border dispute which started है तो बहुत पहले से, but which started in the COVID period, the first phase of the COVID, to divert the attention of their population. ठीक है, China was responsible for the COVID, but then what they did, they started incursion in India. And आज तक अगर जो न्यूज़पेपर उठा के देखो तो how many round of talks has happened? More than 50 to 60 round of talks has happened. Has it resulted in anything good? So no such positive outcome has come. So similarly, यहाँ पे भी वही हाल था, that the discussions which happened between the Mysore and Maratha, no outcome was coming. ठीक है? So now once again, finally, that Marathas were, that they were frustrated with it, and then once again they attacked on the Mysore. So when they are attacking, so Hyder Ali was expecting that British will come to his rescue, but British did not arrive for his rescue. Then, so this is the time he realized that when it comes to when it comes to the European, one can only trust the French. British are untrustworthy. So ये तो एक incident हो गया. अब now what happened? There is a world history scenario also, and in the perspective from the world history information, there was a war of independence in America. Like, which America? US. Then, so USA. So war of independence were happening, and who are the colonizers of the America? British and French also. Both of them were there. Okay? So British and French were the colonizers of the America. And moreover, what happened? So obviously British and French are fighting in the North America. Then what happened? Hyder Ali, he realized that he has chosen a wrong partner, that is British. Or basically he has trusted a wrong partner. Now he started supporting French. Okay? He declared. And you see that this support of the French is happening after the Treaty of Paris, which has happened in the 1763, whereby French have accepted British protectorate in India. But then this point of time, when Hyder Ali started supporting French, so there were many such French forces which were there in the Indian waters, and they were given asylum in the port of the Mahe. Mahe is on the western coast. Then now British said to Hyder Ali, कि this is the violation of the Treaty of Paris. Then that French cannot get any such support from any ruler in India. Hyder Ali did not paid any such heed to them, and it led to the beginning of the Second War in 1780. I hope you're getting it done. So 1780 war we will further discuss, but just mention. You're right. So just change paragraph and don't write any title. Okay? So mention, due to territorial dispute with Maratha. Due to territorial dispute with Maratha, a war started. Territorial dispute with Maratha, a war started in 1767. 1767. Full stop. Very soon, it was joined by Nizam of Hyderabad and British. Nizam of Hyderabad and British from the side of Maratha. From the side of Maratha. Full stop. Hyder Ali offered peace. Hyder Ali offered peace to Nizam and Maratha. Nizam and Maratha, which they accepted. Then mention. He defeated British and captured Madras. Full stop. At this time, British promised that if Madras is restored to them, is restored to them, comma, they will help Hyder Ali. They will help Hyder Ali in future wars. They will help Hyder Ali in future wars with his neighbors. With his neighbors. Then change paragraph and then mention. Though Hyder Ali trusted British, but later during another invasion of Maratha, he figured out, comma के बाद लिखना, he figured out that British were untrustworthy. He figured out that British were untrustworthy. Then mention. He started to support French. During American War of Independence. He started to support French during American War of Independence. Then it led to the beginning of Second Anglo-Mysore War. Second Anglo-Mysore War. Just give me 1 minute. So this is 1780 to 84. So listen. So Second Anglo-Mysore War started, and then in this war, both the sides were equally strong, British and French. Okay? So, sorry, not British and French. So British and Mysore. In 1782, in December, death of Hyder Ali happened because he has suffered some injuries and he succumbed to the injuries. But then this particular battle was carried forwarded by his son Tipu Sultan. Then, so very often Tipu Sultan is referred as the tiger of the Mysore. He was very bold, and then he was fearless, and at the same point of time he hated British. Then he wanted to establish a kingdom, a very big kingdom in the southern India by ousting the British from India. So in this very battle, okay, when Tipu Sultan has joined the battle, so he defeated British at one place which is called as Pulillur. Then, and actually in Pulillur, why Tipu Sultan was victorious? Because he used a unique weapon. Though British also have this weapon, but they never imagined that Tipu Sultan will also be having this weapon, and that was the Mysorean rocket. For the first time in the Indian history, that Indian ruler is using a rocket. Then, so that led to his success. But British were victorious at the other places. So finally, what happened? Ki inconclusive treaty of Mangalore was signed. Okay, in 1784. So now, meaning that कोई area captured नहीं किया. Nobody got anything additional from this war. But then after it, Tipu Sultan was obviously offended with the British then, and British are also offended by the Tipu Sultan. The reason is, so कुछ इसमें discussion है. First of all, when it comes to Tipu Sultan, so he was a staunch supporter of the French. And this is also the time when French Revolution के murmurs start हो गए हैं, ठीक है? So Tipu Sultan, when French Revolution happened, 1789. Then, so he supported French Revolution. Then apart from it, he was also the member of the Jacobin Club, which was organizing the French Revolution. And when the French Revolution happened, so he planted a tree of liberty in his capital, Seringapatam. British are keeping a close eye on the the Tipu Sultan. So they were offended by all these moves. And finally, what happened that in 1790, British were waiting for one opportunity, okay, that they must get the opportunity so that they can attack on the Mysore. And this opportunity was provided because Tipu Sultan attacked on the other kingdom lower side. What is the name? Travancore. So in 1790, when Tipu Sultan attacked on Travancore, so British were just waiting and they jumped into the war. They declared that they are friends of Travancore. Okay? And not only they jumped, but they also brought the Maratha and Nizam in this war. So this time Tipu Sultan was thoroughly defeated. And after this particular defeat, he has to exceed half of the Mysorean territory to the partners, and he also paid 3.3 crore rupees to all the partners. So this is where the weakness of the Tipu will start that crystallizing, and actually in 1799 this will lead to his death. So we'll talk about it, but first you write. So it led to the beginning of second war. Then you write, during the course of war, likho, during the course of war in 1782, during the course of war in 1782, Hyder Ali died. Hyder Ali died. And this war was carried forwarded. This war was carried forwarded by his son Tipu Sultan. Carried forwarded by his son Tipu Sultan. Then mention Tipu Sultan, full stop. Tipu used unique Mysorean rocket. Tipu used unique Mysorean rockets in this war. But by 1784, the war ended with inconclusive. The war ended with inconclusive Treaty of Mangalore. Inconclusive Treaty of Mangalore. Then write your title, Tipu Sultan. Mention about him. He was a brave and bold ruler. He was a brave and bold ruler. He wanted violent overthrow. He wanted violent overthrow of British rule from India. Violent overthrow of British rule from India. He gave brotherly treatment to France. He gave brotherly treatment to France. Supported French Revolution. Supported French Revolution. And planted Tree of Liberty. And planted Tree of Liberty in his capital, Seringhpatnam. Tree of Liberty in his capital, Seringhpatnam. Seringhpatnam. Then mention further. British did not liked his Francophile policy. British did not liked his Francophile policy. अब इस वर्ड का मतलब बताओ, what I have written. Yes, very good, exactly. So French loving or brotherly treatment to the France was not liked by the British then. So British did not like the Francophile policy of Tipu. Then mention, they waited for opportunity. They waited for opportunity to attack. They waited for opportunity to attack on Mysore. Full stop. Change paragraph. Then you write, in 1790, when Tipu invaded Travancore, British joined the war. From the side of Travancore, and they also brought Maratha and Nizam. It led to crushing defeat. Of Tipu Sultan. Full stop. As per Treaty of Seringpatnam. As per the Treaty of Seringpatnam, half of the Mysorean territory was taken by the British partners. So who are partners? Maratha, Nizam, Travancore, everyone. Okay? So taken by the British partners, and Tipu further paid 3.3 crore rupee 3.3 crore rupee as war damage price. 3.3 crore rupees as war damage price. So now listen. So obviously the strength of the Tipu has declined, but then it might have declined in the number of the army and his resources, but in his mind he is still very strong. Then, so he is a man who will rather like to die in the war than acceding to the British. Then, so I'll tell you that one scenario which happened. So now it was crystal clear that British are the staunch enemies of the Mysore, and Tipu Sultan is also the staunch enemy of the British. So this is the duration when Tipu Sultan started finding alliance with the Turkey. Okay? Turkey, Afghanistan, and so as the France. So in world history you read about the rise of Napoleon after French Revolution. So actually Tipu Sultan created an alliance with the Napoleon. Now in 1798, a new Governor General was appointed in India. His name was Wellesley. And Wellesley came up with a policy of the subsidiary alliance system. Okay? So we'll talk about the subsidiary alliance system in the Maratha episode a little bit more. But here just a kind of that information. So what he did, that Wellesley said to the Tipu Sultan, okay, that he offered to the Tipu Sultan that you are secretly creating or forging an alliance against with the France and Turkey. So we are giving you a chance that join the subsidiary alliance system and we will not attack on you. So that is the time when Tipu Sultan made a very emphatic statement to the Wellesley. He said that I would better die like a soldier. I would better die like a soldier than a miserable dependent on the list of the infidels. So than on the miserable dependents on the infidels in their list of the pensioned Rajas and Nawabs. Then now understand that what he's trying to say. So what he said, I would better die like a soldier. It is very simple to understand. that he will not accept any treaty with the British. He will die like a soldier. And then he's saying, then I would better die like a soldier than a miserable dependent on the infidels. So miserable dependent meaning that you are accepting something with the British and you are becoming dependent on them. And he's calling British an infidel. Infidel का क्या मतलब होता है? धोखेबाज. I hope you know. So fidelity is the word from which the infidel is derived. So for example, where you use the fidelity? Wi-Fi, hi-fi, have you? Do you know? What is Wi-Fi? Wireless fidelity. Fidelity is the trust. Okay? So you trust the wireless system. Hi-fi, okay? High fidelity. It means that you have a high trust in something. So infidels का मतलब धोखेबाज. ठीक है? And why he's calling धोखेबाज? पहले ही देख लिया 1771 में, when they have given a pseudo promise and when Marathas attacked, so they did not turn up. And then he said, then a miserable dependent on the infidels in their list of pensioned rajas and nawabs. So he's taking a jibe at the Indian rulers also. बहुत लोगों ने ये accept कर लिया कि they will become the pensioner of the British. And who all were there? Shah Alam II, ठीक है? Mughal emperor. He accepted 26 lakh subsidy, pension, ठीक है? So Mughals have become the pensioners of the Britishers. So he took a jibe on the Mughal rulers also. And then after this statement, Wellesley attacked in 1799 April. The war ended within 20 days. But then Tipu Sultan died defending his capital, Seringapatam. इसमें एक और चीज है. There was one more treachery over here. Then, so one more dhokha, one more treachery, and the second traitor was Mir Sadiq. So in Bengal, Mir Zafar was the traitor. Here, one officer of the Tipu Sultan, whose name was Mir Sadiq, he provided all the information of the capital of the Seringapatam, ki where is the weaponry, where is their army standing, what is the strength of Tipu Sultan, which way British can enter into the fort, from where they can exit. Each and every GPS detail he provided. Okay? And that's how Tipu Sultan was captured, and then he died while fighting only. ऐसा नहीं है कि पकड़ के बाद में मारा. That happened with the Siraj-ud-Dawla then, but then Tipu Sultan died defending his capital. And that's how 1799 onwards, the indirect British rule started in the Mysore. So mention, you're right. What is the last line that you have written? ठीक है. So इसके बाद लिखो that paragraph change करो. Tipu started to forge, F-O-R-G-E, started to forge an alliance with Turkey, Afghanistan, and France. Turkey, Afghanistan, and France. Full stop. Change paragraph. The newly appointed Governor General of Bengal, Wellesley, came up with the policy of subsidiary alliance, in 1798. Full stop. It was offered to Tipu Sultan. It was, full stop के बाद लिखो, it was offered to Tipu Sultan, but he refused. You want to write his statement? लिखो. So quote unquote में लिखो. Tipu said, I would better die like a soldier. I would better die like a soldier than a miserable dependent on the infidels, in the list of infidels, in the list of their pensioned, in the list of their pensioned rajas and nawabs, in the list of their pensioned list of rajas and nawabs, full stop, then mention. हाँ हाँ हाँ, again हाँ, that was the third war. This is the fourth war. हाँ, this is the fourth war. ठीक है, 92, थर्ड वॉर एंडेड इन 92. अगर लिखना है, एक काम करो, पहले ये डिक्टेशन में करवा दे रहा हूं, एंड देन सेपरेटली आई एम राइटिंग ऑल द डेट्स. ठीक है, so just complete the dictation. I'll do that. So you write, in April 1799, in April 1799, Wellesley attacked on Mysore capital Seringpatnam. Capital Seringpatnam. Then one Mysorean officer, Mir Sadiq, one Mysorean officer, Mir Sadiq, proved to be another traitor, and provided all the secret details of Mysore army, all the secret details of Mysore army to British. Full stop. As a result, Tipu Sultan was defeated. As a result, Tipu Sultan was defeated, and he died defending his capital. He died defending his capital, Seringpatnam. Defending his capital, Seringpatnam. Done. So that's how you see that how smartly British have moved, and they have taken the help of the Marathas in it. And then Marathas are also proving to be a fool, not realizing that they have been used in the war, and now is their turn. Okay, so 1775 onwards there would be the episodes with the Marathas. Okay, but then let's write some chronology wala part. So first war already likha hai na, so anyways I'm writing. Okay, so first Anglo-Mysore war, बस dates लिख लो, 1767 to 69. Then the second one, so second Anglo-Mysore war, 1780 to 84. Third Anglo-Mysore war, 1790 to 92. And the last one is just 1799. Fourth Anglo-Mysore war, 1799. Then, so we'll see the Maratha episode and the Punjab in the next class, and after completion of that topic we'll see the other topics which we have seen in the chronology, and that same way the explanation will go on. Okay, chalo. So those who want the list, you can take it from the Ravi. Take it. Hyderabad. देखो, Hyderabad already episode was decided in the Carnatic itself. It has come under the influence of the British. But उसमें कुछ और details हैं जो इस कोर्स में हम डिस्कशन नहीं कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, हाँ, उसमें फिर आगे फर्दर हम डिस्कशन करेंगे. ठीक है, चलो, थैंक यू, गुड नाइट. So, hi, good evening. All good? So, what was the last thing that we discussed? Acha. So, Abdali's invasion, which started. Chalo, we'll start with the story. And those who are asking for the optional wala list, give me this break के time पे I'll send it to the Ravi and then you can have it. ठीक है? So I was just searching it कि कहीं ना कहीं मैंने रखा था. But then I'll search in the break. ठीक है? So now, so last class story was all about later Mughals then, and where we discussed that Bahadur Shah's regime, and then after Jahandar Shah, Farooq Siyar, and Muhammad Shah Rangila. Then, so now understand. So 1739, as we mentioned, that Nadir Shah has defeated Mughal army, and he also looted the very precious peacock throne of the Shah Jahan. Then after he returned back to his own area, and then his death also happened. So he was succeeded by Ahmad Shah Abdali. Then Ahmad Shah Abdali is known for his 7 invasions of India. 7 invasions happened between 1748 to 1767. So last one is in 67 and first one was in 1748, which was the death year of the Muhammad Shah Rangila. Then, and in the due course of time, Ahmad Shah Abdali, what he has done, that he has captured some area from the Mughals. Then, so in this 1748 to 67 ke beech mein, the areas that he has captured is Multan, okay, and Punjab. So Multan and Punjab, I hope all of you must have heard about the Multan, okay. So in Pakistan, and it is very closer to the Iran border. Then very big cricket ground is also there in the Multan. So Multan he captured, and so as the Punjab also he captured. Then, so this is the Ahmad Shah Abdali's beginning, we are saying. Okay? Let's look at the Mughal emperor. So meanwhile, after the death of Muhammad Shah Rangila, that there was a guy who came to the power. Coincidentally, his name was also Ahmad Shah. So the name of the Mughal emperor is Ahmad Shah, and on the other hand, there is an invader whose name is also Ahmad Shah Abdali. Then, so it is during the tenure of the Ahmad Shah, Mughal Emperor Ahmad Shah, Multan and Punjab has gone to Abdali. Then death of the Ahmad Shah happened, and then after Alamgir II is appointed. Then after Alamgir II for a month or so, Shah Jahan III was there. Then, and finally it is in 1860 Shah Alam II was the Mughal emperor.